What is your suggestion to anybody who's starting their content creation career?
So you have to first reflect internally and understand कि आप में ऐसा क्या है.
जाना चाहिए content creation में as a career? नहीं जाना चाहिए? What's your take on this?
Content format changes every 3 months.
You also said something about skills.
Job of an influencer is not just posting a pretty picture.
कि यार लड़कियों के लिए बड़ा आसान है. It's relatively difficult for boys. YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Should somebody be focused on one platform?
One of the lessons that I have learned in my life over a period of time is that you can only fly solo for so long.
इसके बिना मेरा काम नहीं चलेगा. Have to buy a good mic first. Have to invest some money first.
If you are trying to make something that you're not, it is going to be hard to keep up.
People fall short of content. अब और क्या डालूं? और किस बारे में बात करूं?
There are times when I completely break.
Archana, a lot of people don't get immediate results.
I think money should never be the factor for anything.
Paid views, पैसा, advertisement, investing in your visibility on social media. इसके बारे में बताओ. Hi everybody, this is Nitin Soni here. Welcome to this yet another episode and I have a special guest with me. इससे पहले कि मैं गेस्ट के बारे में जानकारी दूं, I want to tell you why this podcast is special. This podcast is special, especially for content creators and people who want to build their career in content creation. अगर आप एक इन्फ्लुएंसर बनना चाहते हैं, अगर आप स्क्रीन पर आना चाहते हैं, अपना चैनल शुरू करना चाहते हैं, चाहे यूट्यूब पर आप अपना करियर बिल्ड करना चाहते हैं, चाहे यू वांट टू डू समथिंग ऑन इंस्टाग्राम और लिंक्डइन, this podcast will give you a lot of gold nuggets that you can grab, and I would really recommend that you grab a notepad, pen, paper, pencil and take notes, because all this knowledge that's going to be shared by the guests is going to come in really handy for you in your career. तो मैं किसकी बात कर रहा हूं दोस्तों? आज जो मेहमान मेरे साथ हैं, शी इज बेस्ड इन यूके और she is an expert in the field of content creation. She's a marketing leader. Now she helps a lot of corporates across the globe in their content creation strategies and digital marketing strategies. I am super excited, as you can see, and I'm sure you're going to be excited as well when I tell you that I have none other than Archana with me. Archana, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Nitin. It's a pleasure of mine to be here with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to this conversation because content creation is something that I've been doing for many years now. मगर फिर भी ऐसा लगता है कि there is so much to learn. तो मैं आपसे सबसे पहले ये समझना चाहता हूं कि when did you start taking interest in content creation? आपको इंटरेस्ट कैसे आया content creation में?
Oh, thank you. So I think for me, I've been in marketing for almost more than 19 years now. And I started my first blog in 2008/2009. So I've been doing content creation and on digital platforms for a while now. To be called the true content creator after blogging was in 2013. Okay. That's when I gave this a big more thought. I thought it's something I can do more professionally and take it more seriously. Before that, I did blogging because I wanted to test a lot of my professional theories around search engine optimization, around content creation, and content writing through my blogs.
Okay, right. So, Archana, between blogging and content creation, of course, blogging is a part of content creation, but still, let's say if I talk about blogging and putting videos out there on social media platforms, what difference do you see? And which platform, if I compare blogging with being a content creator on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn, what difference do you see? And which one is something that you see as better for anybody who want to venture into content creation?
So I think the content format, this is just different formats of content, right?
Yeah.
And content format changes every 3 months. Even on Instagram or on YouTube, there are times when people are more interested in short form videos. Yeah. And then suddenly a minute long videos are more on the platform because the algorithm has changed. So blog is just a form of content. Yeah. And when videos were not there, when social media and, the access to internet or the bandwidth for data wasn't there, reading was much more, what people would do. Yeah. Now that we've moved into a place where everybody's got 5G, everybody has a digital phone, and people have less span for attention. Videos where you are talking to people both visually and you're talking, there's an audio interaction, it is much more engaging. So blog as a content format hasn't gone anywhere. I think the engagement over the video format has increased quite a lot. And that's more because of all the factors that are outside just the content creation, the economic factors, the environmental and the technological factors that come into play.
Makes sense. Archana, do you really see, scope in content creation? I mean, इस question को मैं कैसे frame करूँ, if I look at it from a content creation's perspective, creator's perspective rather, it appears to be a very crowded space. हर आदमी कंटेंट क्रिएटर बनना चाहता है, मगर जो कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स हैं उनमें से देयर आर हैंडफुल ऑफ पीपल हु आर रियली मेकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी एंड डूइंग रियली वेल, एंड मेजर चंक मे नॉट बी डूइंग एज वेल एज दे वांट टू डू. तो मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूं आपसे कि कई सारे लोग दे वांट टू टेक इट एज अ करियर, कि I want to build my career in content creation 2024 and beyond. What is your view on this? है future? जाना चाहिए content creation में as a career? नहीं जाना चाहिए? What's your take on this?
I think future is in every space, wherever you think you can excel and where somebody has passion. So passion is बहुत जरूरी है किसी भी space में, right? Whether I want to become a doctor, whether I want to become a content creator, or I want to become an engineer, passion is important. It should not be that कोई content creation use कर रहा है because it's an easy money. अगर आप easy money के लिए जा रहे हो तो probably गलत है.
Yeah, maybe because somebody else is making money.
Exactly. That should not be the factor. It should be more about मेरे पास कुछ ऐसा है जो कि लोग सीखना चाहते हैं, मेरे पास कुछ ऐसा वैल्यू है जो मैं किसी को ऐड कर सकता हूँ. So you have to first reflect internally and understand कि आप में ऐसा क्या है जो कि आप, because it's not about content creation, it's about influencing people, right? And why should somebody be influenced from you? Yeah. Is it because you are a great mathematician, you are great in finance, or you are great in beauty and makeup advice? You know, you have to figure that out first.
True.
What is that your point of view that people will be interested in? वो पता है, तो next part is easier. Because again, content creation is also a very difficult game. As you said, everybody is there. So how will you stand out? उसके लिए आपका skill, आपका passion दोनों होना बहुत जरूरी है. And you have to be willing to put that grind in. It's not easy money anymore.
This is interesting, and I relate to you. You're absolutely right. It's not about फलाना पैसे कमा रहा है सोशल मीडिया पे, this guy is having millions of followers, और मैं भी ये कर सकता हूँ. It's more about identifying your passion, identifying your USP, and looking within yourself as to what is it that you can bring on the table. Am I right?
Exactly.
Okay. You also said something about skills. आपने आंसर में आपने पैशन की बात की, but you also talked about skills. You said some skills. What are these skills?
I think, you know, there's a whole mix about perception for influencers and content creation. Oh, what is it? Just taking a pretty picture and posting it on, you know, social media. That's all what it takes. No, it doesn't. You have to know about how to engage with your audience. You have to know about content formats. You have to know about editing skills, or, you know, different social media platforms. How to create that content for each platform is different these days. So that all those skills are really important. So a content creator and a job of an influencer is not just posting a pretty picture.
Okay. A lot of people think that it is. A lot of people feel कि भाई क्या है? I just have to look good in the video on the screen and that's pretty much it. और बहुत सारे लोग ये भी सोचते हैं कि इसीलिए social media is easy stuff for females because most of them are better, they're looking in terms of their presence as compared to male. तो मैं आपसे एक upfront question पूछना चाहता हूँ. A lot of male think so, a lot of boys, especially those who want to venture into content creation, कि यार लड़कियों के लिए बड़ा आसान है. It's relatively difficult for boys. What is your take on this?
No, I think it's equally good for everybody. I think there is a space where if you are in fashion or beauty blogging, there's a space exclusively for females because they have an audience in that space, right?
Okay.
Females buy makeup. There's a lot more market for fashion clothes from females. So there's an audience for that. But at the same time, even for boys, I mean, there's a health and fitness audience. You have to understand where does your niche lie. We've got a lot of like financial advice, technology experts these days who are talking about, content from that perspective. So again, boys don't have to do just fashion and neither do females. They can bring different skills to the table and create a niche of their own.
Makes sense. Archana, दो मोटा डायरेक्शन रहते हैं when we talk about content creation. One is anybody can venture into entertainment, जो बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है ना. Everybody is enjoying themselves. A heavy dose of entertainment on social media. मतलब बड़े-बड़े channels के programs are, they're giving them run for their money. क्योंकि social media is grabbing all the attention as far as entertainment is concerned. But on the other side, there are a lot of content creators who are into education. So they are putting educational content. In your view, for anybody who is starting out their career in content creation, which one should they choose? Which one would give them relatively better results? तो इस पर आपका क्या सोचना है?
I think when we look at content pillars, like in social media, there are content pillars. And what you're talking about is educational content pillar. Then there is the entertainment content pillar. And then somebody says like you have to show your real life as well, because people do not connect unless you show the authentic self. So from that authentic self, the answer is think about what comes naturally to you first, right? Like I cannot be a comedian. Even if I try in my life, I don't think I can do stand-up. So entertainment probably is not for me. But at the same time, for somebody that comes naturally, right? Like there are a lot of people I see who are just funny in their lives. So maybe for them, entertainment might make more sense.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think entertainment has a faster growth curve. Okay. So if you're looking to make followers quickly, go viral, I think entertainment as a content pillar definitely helps.
Okay.
I've tested that in my content formats as well. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you're trying to build a long-term audience who is going to follow you for longer, maybe it's a slower growth path. Education will give you that return, which is a dedicated audience who respects you for the content you're producing and are going to come back again and again for it.
Okay.
With entertainment, it's going to be one viral video which will make you a hit, but maybe they will never come back to you. Makes sense.
Which makes sense to me. So, in your view, if somebody is looking at long-term game, educational content is going to be slightly better as compared to entertainment. Can I put it that way? If somebody is looking at a long-term game.
Because again, entertainment content will also have a low entry to barrier, right?
True.
Everybody can do it. And
True.
There could be many content creators in different
True.
forms.
Yeah.
So after a while, there will be a lot of competition, which will be harder to...
Right. What is your suggestion to anybody who's starting their content creation career? YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. मोटे-मोटे ये platforms हैं. So should somebody be focused on one platform or should they take all of them in one go? What is your suggestion?
I think start with one platform, like whatever your audience, wherever your audience is again, right? Like YouTube is long form platform. Instagram is a short form platform and LinkedIn is more for professionals. So think about like, what is my audience? What is my target audience? Am I targeting moms who are 40 plus and just looking for entertainment? Am I targeting kids in colleges who are looking for more educational content? Or am I targeting working professionals, but who are looking for something that can help with their work? So why are they on that platform? If we can understand that psychology, for example, on LinkedIn, people are there because they want to grow in their career. They want to network with like-minded professionals. So if you are creating content for that kind of an audience, then LinkedIn is your platform. But if you are just creating short-form content, entertainment, or bite-sized videos, then Instagram could work really well. So lean on one platform, make yourself bigger on one, and then also start doing others, but on a smaller scale. So because otherwise, if you're alone, it's a lot of work. So either you have a team, but one of the lessons that I've learned in my life over a period of time is that you can only fly solo for so long.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
When somebody's starting their career in content creation, what is your suggestion? पैसा invest करो, fancy gadgets purchase करो, mic लो, camera लो, setup लो, tripod लो, green screen लो, have all of this fancy setup in place, then start your journey? Or what is your suggestion? Pick up your phone and shoot where you are, who you are, whatever it is that's there in your mind and start working on it. क्योंकि मैं देखता हूँ कि ये बहुत बड़ा डायलेमा रहता है लोगों के माइंड में कि यार मेरा ना फोन से अच्छा क्वालिटी नहीं आ रहा. A lot of influencers on social media because they make money by recommending products, they recommend a lot of products. And young people, those who are entrants are like, iske bina mera kaam nahi chalega. I'll have to buy a good mic first, have to invest some money first. तो मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ, somebody who is serious about jumping into this journey, पैसा इन्वेस्ट करके जंप करना है या जंप करने के बाद पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना?
I would go for later. That's how I did it as well.
Yeah, okay.
I started with my basic phone, no mic, maybe a very, very basic tripod, no setup at home.
Okay.
And that worked for a while. But then when I knew that it's starting to pick up, brands are coming to me and I have to create more quality content, I started investing bit by bit. In fact, I learned about video editing, different types of cameras and everything while I was still creating content. So I think start with what you have. That's your authentic self. That's how people will connect with you.
True.
If you are trying to make something that you're not, it is going to be hard to keep up.
Okay.
And that's where it becomes more of a mental health, pressure because you're still not making money. And how do you justify that cost? there are others who think of this as, and they have like a whole business plan, right? Where I'm coming and I know that for next 2 years, I'm going to just literally invest in content and I want to put a lot of money and then make myself big. That's another strategy. But not everybody can afford that. So my advice is start with the later and then learn on the job.
I agree with you. In fact, that's exactly how I started. सिर्फ फोन से इन वीडियोस बनानी शुरू की, उनको खुद एडिट किया. आई स्टार्टेड पोस्टिंग इट ऑन प्लेटफॉर्म्स लाइक यूट्यूब एंड फेसबुक अर्लियर. उससे भी पहले ऑर्कुट हुआ करता था. ऑर्कुट पर वी यूज्ड टू पोस्ट स्टफ हियर एंड देयर. और वंस आई रियलाइज कि हाँ यार, यू नो, दे गेटिंग फॉलोअर्स एंड इट्स गिविंग अस सम रिजल्ट, देन आई स्टार्टेड इन्वेस्टिंग माई मनी इन बाइंग सम कैमराज और बाइंग सम माइक्स एंड स्टफ. सो आई थिंक व्हाट यूर सेइंग मेक्स कंप्लीट सेंस टू मी. कई बार ऐसा देखा है अर्चना दैट पीपल फॉल शॉर्ट ऑफ कंटेंट. Yeah, they are like, अब और क्या डालूं, अब और किस बारे में बात करूं. So my question is, what strategy one should follow so that a person doesn't run out of content. उसके पास content हो और खूब हो और आगे के लिए भी उसको दिख रहा होगा, there is more than enough for me to work on and post and create and do stuff. Because a lot of content creators I see, they come at a point जहाँ पे 2, 4, 5, 10, 20 वीडियोस के बाद अब और क्या करूं, what else should I post? Your take.
I think investing in a content strategy, but also understanding how you can recycle content. Like I've done marketing for 20 years now, right?
Recycle content.
Recycle. Yeah? We use this in corporate a lot. And in fact, maybe it's my own word, but recycle, which is if something has worked in the past and the time is right now again for it, you should repost. I believe in like finding content for me that has maybe gone viral before, people have liked. I think I gain new followers every day. So something that I might have posted in 23, a lot of people would not even have seen it. And people who have engaged with it might have even forgotten about it.
Right.
So they're not going to be upset if I repost something.
Right.
So have that recycle strategy. Have your content strategy. I mean, I work with my team or on my own, just creating a content calendar of what are the themes that I want to focus on this month and how I'm going to fill that gap. There are times when I completely break from social media. I would say, okay, 2-3 days, no posting. I don't want to be on social because I also like social detox. That's what we call it. But it's also good for, you know, just living in the real moment.
Yeah, true. So are we suggesting one should plan completely in advance as far as their posting calendar is concerned? कि अगले 1 महीने के अंदर this is the content that I'm going to be working on, I'm going to be making. Is that what you're suggesting?
I think plan, but I don't think I have ever executed 100% of my plan.
Yeah.
So most of it, I would say, is about 75% is planned.
Okay.
We know what we are posting.
Okay.
But then 25% has to be real, right? Like what is happening every day. There are times when I have planned for a content because I'm going to an event, but I'm sick. I can't. Then I have to like think of something else. So you still need that gap and space to be able to be more agile and open to, you know, change and experimentation.
Yeah. Archana, a lot of people don't get immediate results. In fact, almost everybody, most of them, they don't get immediate results. Anybody starting out on social media, उसको time लगेगा, है ना? तो जैसे suppose if I start a new channel and if I start posting content, मैं ये अगर ये expect कर रहा हूँ कि मुझे 1 महीने के अंदर subscribers मिल जाएंगे या you know I'll get a lot of followers and I'll become an influencer, तो ऐसा नहीं होने वाला. So क्या मैं सही हूँ? पहली बात, क्या ऐसा है?
ऐसा है most of the time. हाँ,
most of the time.
Yes.
So then in that case, how can one continue with the motivation of being, you know, continuously posting? Because the motivation वो नीचे आ जाता है after some time. You feel कि यार result नहीं आ रहा है, people are not engaging, views नहीं आ रहे हैं, और it's very demotivating for anybody who's starting out. What is your suggestion? कितना time तक wait करना है before I decide this is not my cup of tea, मेरे को result नहीं आ रहा है? For how long one should continue posting before he decides this is not my cup of tea, let me try something else?
So I think when you're starting out, जब भी कोई start कर रहा है, have realistic goals.
Okay.
Like, you know, if I'm doing something, let's say I'll give it 6 months or 1 year, whatever that looks realistic to you, what you can take out. But then have some goals. And those goals are really important to understand whether you are making success or not. So one, realistic, and then measuring them. So, you know, if it is a goal, then make sure it's measurable. Like this is like corporate jargon, but realistic and measurable goals are really important. Just go with like, what do I want to achieve in month 1? Is it set number of posts, X number of followers, in total X number of engagement? Like, you know the social media metrics. Go with those. there's a lot of material online to educate you on how to put social media goals in place, and then assess them for 6 months. They should also be incremental. So what I mean by that is month one mein jo bhi aaya, you need to make sure it's 10% more next month and you're increasing. As long as that growth curve is there, you know that you're doing something right, that is giving you results.
Yeah. So what that means is being interested in social media metrics is again a crucial part of the game. Am I right?
I think if you're on social media platform as a content creator, you have to be interested in metrics. I mean, even looking at your views and likes is one metric.
Yeah,
right?
It's just one of the metrics.
Yeah.
But there could be a lot of other metrics that one can look at, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also suggest investing in tools that give you more insights about how your channel or your platform is performing?
Yes, I think I use Instagram. My native Instagram app or Facebook and Meta is really good because they give you the best data.
Okay.
But then for competitive research, I do use other tools. I have a whole toolkit around, how I would plan my content calendar, the tools that I use for editing, the tools I use for storage, and then, analysis as well. So yeah, It's important. That's what I said. It's not just about posting a pretty picture.
बहुत सारे ऐसे young लोग हैं in the middle of their career, and I know I'm a CA, so I connect with a lot of CA students, and I see a lot of students midway through their journey looking at success stories on social media and then looking at themselves in the mirror and saying कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? I've been studying for the last 5 years, कुछ नहीं है मेरे पास, और कोई श्योरिटी नहीं है मैं which direction my career is going to take me. Or on the other side, look at this person, ये 12वीं पास करके, he's pretty active on social media and he's making hell lot of money. And the self-doubt that creeps in says कि क्या कर रहा है, इसको छोड़ and jump into content creation, jump into social media, सारा पैसा इधर है. हाँ, in fact, a lot of people who are in jobs, they also have this question mark in their mind कि यार, look at this person, ये 10-20 वीडियो डालता है and he earns a lot of money. Why should I be studying? Why should I be doing a job? I should rather focus on building a career here. क्या सोचते हो आप इस बारे में?
I think I've seen a lot of social media reels these days, which are also picking up on jobs and then saying even chai wala is earning more than me. Why am I doing a job? I think completely wrong.
Okay.
Right? Like there are different earning models. Yeah. Content creation is just one of them.
Yeah.
Does business suit to you? Does, a job or a corporate job looks more palatable, or is it a business? I think everything in the life has some challenges. Nothing comes for free.
True.
Like if somebody is even giving me something for free, I'm like, nothing comes for free in this life. There is something that is at the end happening.
Yeah.
So in job, it's 9 to 5. I'm very thankful. I also have a corporate job, and that gives me a peace of mind because I have a 9 to 5 stable income.
True.
Right. And that gives me a lot of space to have fun in my content creation. I can go and actually decline brands that I don't align in values with.
True.
And I can say, look, I'm only going to promote something that I use and I would love to use. I don't even do affiliate marketing today. But if you are a content creator, you have to look at more for a long-term career in content creation. Brand deals is not going to last for long. It's a red ocean. Everybody wants to be a content creator. There are so many that brands have a list of content creators to choose from.
True.
So what you have to think about is why would they want to choose us? That means you have to be on top of your game every single day. And at the same time, you have to think of other income models because it's a very sporadic, seasonal model. If there's a season, a brand will come. If there's a launch, a brand might come. But they're not going to come every day and every month. So a lot of content creators, if you see now, have ventured into either affiliate, long-term brand deals, or even creating courses, right? Like video courses and training courses or side consulting professions to be able to supplement their income. So there's a lot of dark side of social media and content creation. There's mental health issues that a lot of content creators face because of that, which is not a lot talked about. And same with business, right? Like somebody who goes into business, it looks very charming because you're your own boss.
True.
But it's never 9 to 5. You're even working on
it's
a Saturday.
24/7.
Right?
Yeah.
You can vouch for that.
Yeah.
I've seen my family, they're working on a Saturday on a phone call. They're also working on a Sunday. And I'm like,
there is no weekend for a business owner.
Exactly.
Yeah. True. I mean, I agree with you. And hence I asked this question. So what we are concluding by this conversation is that one shouldn't look at the bright side of it, but there is a gray side as well. You may think a lot of people are making money, but that's not the real picture. A lot of people in content creation is struggling to make enough money to make ends meet just by working on content creation. Am I right?
I think 100%. And I think we need to understand that content creation, just like any other freelance model that you see, comes with a lot of competition, a lot of hard work at the back, but it also builds character.
True.
So you learn a lot on the go. So it's a great place to be, but it doesn't mean that everybody should think that the corporate job or a 9 to 5 or a career that they're choosing is wrong. Think about what in your circumstances will work well.
True.
A lot of people have a support system at the back and they feel like, we can venture and try it for 2-3 years, and that's great. Some might say, look, I have to be the breadwinner for the house. So it's a completely different story. And I think one has to consider those factors in.
Good to go. Archana, what should be the motivating factor then to venture into this area, venture into this career stream? Kya motivating factor hona chahiye? Should it be just money? You look at content creation, you look at influencer and you know, whoa, we're making hell lot of money. Let me jump into this because this is where I can make money. Should money be the motivation, or do you see that there should be other motivating factors that one should look at before jumping into content creation?
I think money should never be the factor for anything.
Wow.
I think the main, and I might sound like a Guruji saying this, but no, money should never be the factor. It should be about like, what do you really enjoy?
Yeah.
Because if you don't enjoy it, you will never be able to do more than a certain amount of hours into it.
Right.
And for being good at anything and to excel and to get to that level where you can actually make money, like the key word is, you have to put a lot of hours. So if I enjoy content creation, like a lot of people have said, like you think about content even if you are not thinking, like even if I'm on a holiday, I'll think, oh, this will look really good. And that happens because I enjoy it. Or I think about marketing all the time. I can see hidden marketing, guerrilla marketing happening here and there. So that's the ability that one has. So if somebody is good in maths, why not think about whether is there a way you could leverage that into being content creation, or could it be another profession completely?
True.
So yeah.
Archana, you talked about challenges in the last answer of yours. You said challenges. You said some lot of hard work goes into it. I mean, throw some light on what are these challenges that content creators normally face, and what hard work are we talking about? I want to understand.
Well, content creators are at the mercy of the platform, right? I create content every day and we think, oh my God, we put 5 hours conceptualizing this and another 5 hours editing and shooting this. This reel is going to go viral because we've put a lot of blood, sweat, tears into this content. It doesn't. And you have to live with it. Like maybe your hook went wrong, people say that, or maybe it wasn't the right time of the day when you were posting. A lot of your audience was busy in a Diwali festival. So you have to just...
So you cannot 100% predict.
Exactly. You can't. I mean, sometimes you can, but not 100%. So there's that the content can fall completely flat after doing all the research. There's also the part that you can face a lot of brand rejections at times. So you have to learn to live with that fact as well. Sometimes you think you're really good in association with the brand, you have all the brand values, but they also have other creators, and you know they also have budget constraints, so they cannot work with all the creators that might still be relevant for them.
True.
So for them, it's also a maths at the end. So if it doesn't fit in their model, you are not going to be in the list. There's a lot of competition. Sometimes your own friends can become your competitors. So you have to also learn to live with that fact.
True. Do you also feel that one should have business acumen to be successful in the social media game, in the content creation game? Because eventually one has to be, I feel so, and I want to know your view on this. It's not just about putting a good video or a good piece of content on social media. Eventually, the fact that you'll be able to make money or not out of this entire hard work is what sort of business sense do you have? Do you know about affiliate marketing? Do you understand how to connect with brands? Do you understand how much you should charge? Do you understand how this entire game works? So I want to understand from you, what is your take on the business acumen side, business side of content creation? Is it just putting content and eventually making money? Let's say talk about YouTube. Put more content, make more money just by the clicks that, the advertisements that come on the videos. And that's just one part. Another part could be building an entire business around content creation. What do you feel?
Yeah, I think nobody can know everything, first of all. So Whatever you know, either you learn on the job or you hire that skill, right? So a lot of content creators can be really good in content creation or social media. But if they are struggling, I've seen a lot of content creators having teams who are then equipped to help them manage the strategy part. It's the same as like a film star, right? They can make so much money with films, but they then look at investing, whether, other additional business lines that we've seen coming across. So it's the same thing with content creators. You are still self-employed in theory. When you're going into content creation, you're in fact opening a business because you're independently invoicing. So yeah, you will have to eventually have that skill. For example, just on YouTube, a YouTube video, if you're targeting an India audience today and also tier 3 cities with content which is entertaining, your cost per view of the ad is going to be very low. Yeah. So even after having 1 million views, you'll probably only earn little.
True.
Whereas if you were to target a content which was either for tier 1 cities or for students living abroad, your per view of an ad will be a lot more.
Yeah.
So even by having 5,000 views, you will earn a lot more in revenue. So that strategy comes when you have somebody working with you or you know that yourself.
True. So are you suggesting working with an expert is always good?
Yeah.
Having somebody to guide you and coach you and handhold you is always good if somebody is looking at content?
I think if it's a long-term gain, either you become an expert yourself or whatever skill you don't have, you have people to support you with that. So
be open for that.
Be open for that. As I said, it's never a solo game.
Yeah. I quite like it because I realize early on, I never seeked any professional help. So I tried to figure out all by myself. This could have been different if I had hired an expert or taken the services of an expert to look at the metrics and guide and you look at all those creatives and thumbnails and whatnot, right? So kind of I agree. अर्चना, एक बात और जाननी है मुझे, वो ये है कि स्पेसिफिक नीश में जाना है या जनरल जाना है? Like, let's say if I'm starting out.
Yeah.
Should I be hyper focused on a particular niche? Or should it be a general content for everybody, for the masses?
I think hyper focused, again, same हमने answer किया था पहले भी कि, if you were going, you might have a educational content, you might have a slower growth curve. अगर आप entertainment में जाओगे, तो you'll have a faster growth curve. Same with the masses and the hyper focused hyper focused, maybe numbers are smaller. You will only get like maybe 100K, 200K followers. But those 100, 200K are so good that brands will pay you equally the same amount of money जो 1 million followers maybe आपको मिलेगा.
जी.
So I think the brand deal value, average size of your brand deal value will be much higher. So sometimes there are influencers who are only maybe doing 5 deals a month, but still earning more or equivalent to somebody earning a million with a million followers. So
right.
Yeah.
So if somebody is having a hyper focused audience of let's say 1 lakh followers, it may still be good than somebody who has a general audience of let's say 5 lakh followers.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
100%.
Because and it depends on the brand, right? Like a brand which, let's say for example, a brand who wants to only target British Indians in UK will look for people who have that hyper focused audience.
True.
Versus somebody who is looking for females in India.
Yeah.
And then because the value or the customer paying will be much more.
Yeah.
The buying power is much more. They are willing to also invest more than that area.
True. In that sense, do you also feel the language that we use in our content? Let's say for example, somebody is making content in English या कोई हिंदी में बना रहा है.
Yeah.
क्या उसका भी difference होगा in their growth, in the amount of money that they will make? क्योंकि they'll be attracting different sort of audiences.
Exactly.
So do you think that will also play some?
100%. I think when you are talking about English as a language, you are obviously ignoring tier 3 cities or traditional Indian families, and so the content is not catered for them. Whereas so there's market for both. You just have to understand that it should not again be driven from money.
Yeah.
It should be driven from what comes naturally to you and where do you have the understanding. So I mean, I cannot preach or I cannot talk to an audience which I don't connect with.
True.
I have to live that life to understand, how to create content for them.
Right. We've talked a lot about content creation as a career, challenges, and what are the few things that somebody can keep in mind when jumping into this field. मुझे ये जानना है आपसे, पैसा कैसे बनेगा? How can a person make money as a content creator or as an influencer? What are some of the avenues that are open in front of him? पैसा कहाँ से बनेगा, मुझे ये जानना
मुझे लगा मैं आपसे पूछूंगी कि पैसा कैसे बनेगा. You are a CA. Okay.
मैं ये बताऊंगा कि उस पैसे का करना क्या है.
Okay.
But I want to understand from an expert like you, how can somebody make money as a content creator? वो avenues कौन कौन से हैं जहां से पैसा आ सकता है, so that we can be, sensitized, the audience can be sensitized in their mind कि भाई ये options open रहेंगे and one should be on lookout for these opportunities. वो समझना चाहता हूँ.
Yeah, sure. I think I'll talk about 4, and if you look at really big content creators from India or worldwide, they've all been like testing this. So it's a model that you can see in application as well. So number 1 is obviously brand deals. This could be single campaigns or long-term association with brands. So a lot of influencers, what they've done is they understand that they live ethos and they're working regularly with brands. So what they do is they either with their agencies or themselves try to create a year-long contract, which works in favor for both, because the influencer can predict a steady income and a brand can predict a long-term relationship where they can influence the content slightly differently. The second model is obviously affiliate marketing, where you are looking at ad revenue from like your YouTube ads or even like click-through. So, you are recommending certain products and you get some commission on back of that.
True.
So that's another one. The third one is online courses. A lot of influencers, when they have knowledge which they've gathered over certain years or they're expert in certain areas, they would go and create either with third-party platforms or on their own, start to create those courses. I think that's a great way of, sharing that knowledge, because traditional education methods are also not available for certain areas, right? Like I feel like the education system takes a lot longer to catch up on things. And the fourth one is just creating your own brand. So, a lot of fashion influencers have then launched their own brands. A lot of beauty influencers have also launched their beauty brands or something that they see there's a gap in the market where they can penetrate. So those are the 4 that can happen, but they don't happen on day 1. To get to the last 2, which is essentially either a course or a brand, you're looking to first create that influence. So you have to give enough value, build that audience and trust to be able to create that, audience who is going to align with you and say, look, I trust this influencer. And if they are saying something, whether it's in a course or in a brand, I would be interested enough to hear them out. Whether buying or not, that's a second issue. But I would be interested to know what they're doing. Right. And that is happening when you created that influence, not content.
True. You are right. Because, if I look at the revenue streams that we have around our content, you are spot on. It's courses. In fact, a lot of influencers and content creators make a hell lot of money around courses. That's a major chunk. Being a publisher, books are also a very good source of revenue because your audience would love to read something that you have written. So that's again a good source of. In fact, when I wrote my first and second books, they became bestsellers primarily because of the audience, and they purchased the books and they read it. The Amazon reviews came from the existing followers. So there are a lot of avenues through which somebody can make money, because I believe, and just to add to what you said, platform is more important than product. Yeah. If you have a platform, if you are on social media, and if you have a platform means you have followers. And any and every product that you come up with, the audience under the influence is going to be interested in the product, and you will eventually end up making money. And that's exactly what is happening right now. And as you rightly said, you may come up with your own beauty, chain of products, and then you can sell them and whatnot.
Yeah.
So indeed, absolutely. अब जैसे ना AI का ज़माना है, हाँ, AI, everything is AI. Yeah. And by the way, we are not real. We are the AI versions of two individuals. Just joking. So AI का ज़माना है. A lot of AI influencers are, this is a buzzword, AI influencers. Yeah. तो मैं समझना चाहता हूँ कि कैसा future है? How's the future of this industry? AI influencers आ रहे हैं. A lot of things are happening through AI. Yeah. So how's it? Good, bad, awesome? What's your take on this?
There's space for everything, right? So I think, yes, there are AI influencers and brands are also testing it, because for them, they can create an avatar and they don't have to pay somebody an X amount of money. But what I see is when you look at the curve of an audience who is engaging, right at the start where you have we call it awareness stage. or just like basic understanding of the product. I think that's where the AI can work, which is like product placements and stuff. But if you want to influence the end of the purchase cycle, they want to see it on a real human. People buy from people. So whether it's about a book, like AI can't recommend a book to me and I'm not going to buy it. Or an AI can't recommend a beauty product to me because AI will not know, or I cannot understand an AI skin. And I want to buy from a person who's got my skin type, who has my skin tone. Exactly. So I think there is space because you can, when you're just creating that brand-led content, you just want to have a model to place your product with. I think the AI with a car, automotive industry will also see a lot of that. It works. They can show an AI model driving a car. Great, why not? But when they come to an event, they will still need physical people. They will still want to have a model or an actor endorsing the car, because that's where the engagement will come from.
Yeah. Just a follow-up question on this. Two things are getting popular these days. As we rightly said, AI influencers. So a lot of people on social media are also recommending ki kya karega? Why do you want to go in front of the camera? Yeah, you create 5 AI influencers and start your channel or social media journey with them rather than you being on the camera. So my question is around this. Number one, how do you see this trend maybe? And second thing is a lot of faceless content is also pretty famous.
Yeah.
A lot of people are advocating about creating faceless content, like faceless YouTube channels, faceless Instagram channels, wherein there is no face, and you're just putting relevant content for specific niche. How do you see them?
I think it's come back to the purpose and the audience, right? So if the purpose is driven by, what's the objective of the person who's creating that faceless channel? Is it because they don't have time, they're not confident? So if they understand that purpose, it needs to be driven from that keyword. My purpose is I am in a full-time job. I'm just picking it up on me. I don't have time to go in front of camera, but I know how to create good content and I have a knowledge about a skill that I want to give. Maybe a faceless education channel could work. I'm a people shy person. I can do, a lot of educational content series by AI influencers. That purpose is pretty clear. And then maybe in 5 years, the purpose will change. That can happen, right? People pivot as well. So one has to be open to that too.
True. We briefly talked about brands. I see a lot of brands, they face this dilemma. And the dilemma is, how can I be true to my unique brand voice and still cater to the masses through social media? This is a sort of a dilemma for a lot of brands. How can I be true to what my brand voice should be? And if they stick to that particular voice, they feel that they cannot venture out and experiment into other stuff. So what is your take on this? There is a bit of a challenge or a dilemma that I see, especially from brands' perspective. Is it true? If it is, how should one deal with it?
I think you're right. A lot of brands, and brand is a big thing, right? For a lot of corporates, they've invested a lot in brand.
Yeah.
They have a certain brand language. They want to also retain more professionalism. And the way they can actually experiment is by adding the human element, right? Like when you're creating your brand content, it is always going to be on a certain language, a certain type of style. But with influencers, you know that the influencer is going to represent a certain style of their own. And that's where a slight freedom comes, and people are also acceptable, like they will accept that. So it's essential to but at the same time, it's very important to make sure that you hire the right influencer and give them that brand guide. So when I work with brands, we always ensure that there's a whole brand language and we are following that. But the brands also give freedom for a little bit of fun. And it's all about that creative brainstorming together to come up with something that people will engage with, because they still want that engagement. And at the same time, keep that brand ethos to the core.
But this requires a lot of brainstorming, isn't it? A lot of thinking, a lot of minds coming together and ensuring that we're being true to the voice and still do what we want to do, yeah? Yeah,
that's why I said you have to learn a lot of things, and you have to be willing to grow. I think in any career, wherever you are at today, the time is such that what you knew 10 years back will not will not be true anymore with AI coming in.
True.
And 7-10 years down the line, it will look completely different.
It will look completely different. My next question is a follow-up question on this. It's going to be completely different. How do you see the future? I mean, sometimes I feel that, of course, this one side is the space is very overcrowded. On the other side, I feel, yaar, kitna jaldi, people lose interest. Till yesterday, people were interested in Facebook. Now, Facebook, people are not that active on Facebook. The engagement is going down. People are more active on Instagram. I mean, very soon people may lose interest of this platform as well. How can one keep up with this constant change? And isn't it too much of pressure for any influencer? And how do you see the future? I mean, there are too many questions in one question.
No, it's fine. I think the world is going to change. AI will obviously, AI factor itself will bring a lot of changes in the world.
Right.
A lot of professions will change as well. But when it comes to platform, I think that's when, after a certain point, you need to build that trust and audience in a way that they can follow you wherever you go, rather than being stuck to, at the mercy of a platform algorithm. True. Or a single platform. So think about how can you build that trust and take them with you wherever you are. And that doesn't happen for everyone. And that's because people are focused on the short-term gains.
True.
Versus having a long-term vision.
True. I agree with you. I agree with you because the one way that we mitigated with this challenge was to have as many people from social media as our email subscribers. Yeah, and that would help us take those people, that audience, to any platform that we are on. And this is one strategy that has really worked well for us. But otherwise, you're absolutely right. By having that connect, that people, if you're able to connect, build that connect, you move to a different platform, people will move with you because they follow you, not the platform, right? So this is good way to put it. Archana, paid views, paisa, advertisements, investing in your visibility on social media. इसके बारे में बताओ.
I think I'm not against boosting. So, there are Instagram or Meta's own platform where you can boost a reel. I'm not against that. There are brands who would also whitelist and boost your posts. That has also worked for me. I've gained a lot of visibility through that. I think at the same time, fake numbers is something that one should stay away from.
Fake numbers and fake followers.
Yeah, because they actually drop your engagement. Because it just confuses the algorithm to an extent where your account becomes very dead. So that one should stay away from it. I have seen people with 5,000 followers having great engagement versus somebody with even 25,000. I'm not even talking in millions, but I think value your percentage of engagement.
Yeah, true. This has been a really engaging, enriching conversation, Archana. Aapne, in a very crisp and concise manner, I would say that you answered all the questions and really helped me understand this game even better. And I'm sure that's exactly what the audience would be feeling right now. Before I end this conversation, I want to quickly summarize it in a way. And through a question that I want to ask is, if somebody has to start their journey on social media, content creation, becoming an influencer, what are the 1, 2, or 3 tips that you would give to summarize what we have discussed so that this could just be the main key takeaways that person may have and may note down before they end watching this podcast?
Sure. So first of all, understand your purpose, why you want to start this.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Second is understand what is the skill set that you are bringing to the table and who is going to be interested in it. So your audience.
Yeah.
So if you understand those 3 things, you will probably be able to figure out the channel you want to go to, the kind of content you want to create, and set yourself some goals which are realistic.
Yeah. So purpose, focus on the skills. And then what was the last one?
If you understand your skills and purpose, then the audience. So understand which audience, who are you targeting to? Why are they going to be interested in you?
Right.
And who is going to be interested in you?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Archana. This was an absolutely enriching, thrilling experience to ask those questions to you and get those answers for myself for my team and of course for the audience. I really want to thank you for coming here today and sparing your time for this podcast. I hope you also enjoyed the conversation.
Yes, 100%. Thank you for having me here. And I'll talk to you soon again about how to actually make more of that money.
For sure. Thank you very much, Archana. It was a pleasure having you here today. Friends, this was Archana. And as the main key takeaways, purpose. ये नहीं देखना आपको यार this person is making a lot of money on Instagram or YouTube and I should also jump into this. You should focus on your purpose. You should be clear in your heart and your mind. Why do you want to do it? And once the purpose is clear, and it shouldn't be money. It shouldn't be money. She categorically cleared that. It shouldn't be money. If you just focus on money, if money is the motivation, the moment you realize that you're not making enough money, you're going to be demotivated. So it's important that you have a clear purpose in your head. Second most important part, she said, is the skill set. What are you going to bring on the table, man? So it's important that you focus on your skill set. What are you good at? And the moment you realize this is something that I'm good at, focus on that skill and bring that skill on the table. That is where you should, that your entire content creation game should revolve around. You should be clear about metrics. You should leverage on other people's expertise and you should have a long-term vision in your head. This is not going to be an easy path. There will be challenges. You're going to put in a lot of hard work. AI is right up there and use it to your advantage. Well, there were so many things that we discussed and I'm sure you took a lot of notes. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. This was CA Nitin Soni with an amazing guest today. I'm going to see you again in another episode of CA Nitin Soni podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in.